Welcome to our podcast series, The New World of Life Sciences. Life science companies are facing unprecedented change, which is significantly impacting the existing business model. In this podcast series, we will discuss key trends and their implications for the life science industries and key imperatives for business model innovation. My name is Arne Buthmann. I'm a partner at Oxygy, 20 years of experience in helping clients in pharma and medical device industries improve how they work and reimagine their business model. Again, today with me is Günter Kloucek. Quick introduction, Günter.
I'm Günter Kloucek. I joined Oxygy Consulting as a director about a year ago. Prior to consulting, I've been working for pharmaceutical industry for more than 25 years. In various operational and strategic roles in local markets as well in regional headquarters and chief of staff and head of strategy for the Europe and Canada region.
Thank you, Günter. Last time we talked about key trends in life sciences, and one of them was the issue of sustainable funding due to the increasing medical demand caused by advances in medical sciences, by a growing and aging population, and falling budget on the other hand. Can you tell us more about the move towards outcome-based funding?
Governments and payers are exerting pressure to drive down healthcare costs since quite some time. Many cost containment initiatives such as price controls, fostering generic use, budget caps, stringent reimbursement processes, and so on, they are in place, and the number is further increasing while we are speaking. However, payers are realizing that driving down drug prices alone may not be enough. Hence, they are demanding for improved health outcomes. For example, reduction in morbidity and mortality, or enhanced efficiency of care pathways, reduced resource consumption, and so on. So they are really requesting clinical and or economic superiority compared to what's available today. And of course, they want to see strong real-world evidence to support those claims.
Would you say that this is a universal trend that you see across the globe?
Well, of course, there are differences between different geographies and markets. And although the willingness, capability, and infrastructure for value-based pricing is growing faster in some markets than in others, I think the trend is pretty clear. In future, pharma companies will be paid for outcomes and not for products. And as a result of this, value-based pricing and pay for performance is on the rise. I think the COVID-19 crisis might accelerate the move towards this outcome-based healthcare. The massive healthcare resources for managing the crisis will put enormous pressure on constrained budgets and may also lead to even more pronounced trade-off decisions to optimize the outcome, let's say from a community perspective.
You're right, Günter. What we see already is an increasing number of markets, the shift in stakeholder balance of power towards payers and patients. I guess this will accelerate the focus on health outcomes even further.
Yeah, for sure. Pharma's need for demonstrating value based on health outcomes becomes even more pronounced with this shift. Already nowadays, governments and payers are increasingly influencing what physicians are allowed to prescribe. The new digital technology provides the payers with the outcome data they need to determine best medical practice. And treatment protocols mandated by payers have started to replace individual treatment decisions by physicians. I think the Nordics are a very good example for this development. But on the other hand, as you said, patients are becoming increasingly important stakeholder because they are willing and able, thanks to digital technology, to take greater control of their own health. Patient advocacy groups play an increasingly important role in influencing health policy discussions. And what we also see is that patient needs have moved beyond just safety and efficacy, and they are increasingly demanding really tailored health solutions.
So given these developments, what are now the implications for the industry?
Yeah, and as said, the ability to demonstrate the value of your offering is absolutely key. And in order to do this properly, the pharma companies have to start from the perspective of all stakeholders, including payers and patients. And they need to identify what are their unmet needs and value drivers, and based on that, develop new value propositions. And these value propositions need to be certainly backed up by data. Yeah? And as clinical trials have some limitations, complementary real-world evidence and patient-reported outcomes are needed to really show effectiveness of a medication in practice. By the way, this also will serve as basis then for pay-for-performance and to demonstrate real value for money to payers and the society. Therefore, strong real-world evidence capabilities and a reliable infrastructure for data access are needed. However, having strong clinical data for the drug itself may not be sufficient for a compelling value demonstration, because there are many factors such as adherence or gaps in the care pathway, insufficiencies in the care provision, which influence the outcome. And in order to create a compelling value demonstration, I think it really becomes vital to manage a transformation from a pure drug provision into the health management space, which means that additional services and solutions around the product offering, based on this in-depth understanding we discussed before, may be needed to really improve health outcomes by personalization and tailoring of care.
So then developing a stakeholder-centric model which encompasses the shift in power and considers the varying needs and the value drivers of the 5 Ps, right? So the physicians, the providers, the policymakers, the payers, and the patients becomes imperative. What is your opinion, Günter, on managing potentially conflicting needs?
I think the needs of the patient give the other stakeholders in the life science space the right to exist. Therefore, the patient journey must serve as a central framework for clinical development activities, health outcome related value propositions, and engagement models. Patient interests have to be put in the center of a company's decision making and actions, all aiming for an improved patient experience and patient value creation. And I think an important aspect here is co-creation. As the patient knows best what it does mean to live with a certain condition, they have to be engaged in the co-creation of health solutions along the entire value chain of a company. However, becoming a preferred partner to diverse stakeholders means delivering an excellent end-to-end customer experience for all 5 of them. Besides the what to offer, the how to engage is important. A multi-channel and co-creation approach helps designing customized engagement solutions based on channel preferences of the diverse stakeholders.
Right. So then in this current COVID-19 crisis, where we have significant restrictions to face-to-face interaction and forced virtual engagements within companies and with our customers, how is customer engagement going to change in the future with the experience from this crisis?
That's a very good question. I think it's going to accelerate virtual engagement. and all the efforts to establish and drive multi-channel marketing capabilities. Because the crisis has provided really tangible examples and evidence of benefits in using digital means. And additionally, the forced use of these means has increased familiarity with the digital tools. Will there be less traditional face-to-face sales force activities as a result of the crisis? Probably. However, the shift in the balance of power has already led to different engagement capabilities and roles, many of them being non-commercial, such as patient advocacy leads or medically scientific liaisons, or also virtual engagements like webinars. And the question will be, what is the right balance between face-to-face and virtual in the light of emerging stakeholders, their needs, more pronounced partnering and co-creation approach?
Thank you, Günter. That's a good question and also very good insights. This concludes the second episode of our podcast. In the next episode, Günter and I will take a deeper dive into the various aspects of digitalization in life sciences and how these disruptive new technologies, therapies, and competitors call for digital transformation, for more collaboration, and for more partnering. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and tune in for our next episode. Thank you.